Hey guys, today we're going to talk about multiplying decimals. Let's review and start off by talking about multiplying whole numbers. So when we have a multiplication problem, we line up the problem to the right side, so we justify everything to the right, and then we go ahead and start multiplying, starting with this bottom number. So we have 6 times 9, which is 54, so I report my 4, carry my 5. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 5 is 35. So 59 times 6 is 354. Over here we've got a 3-digit number times a 2-digit number. Again, we've lined up the numbers to the right, we've justified it to the right, and now we're just going to multiply. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 5 times 6 is 30. We bring down a 0 as a placeholder and start multiplying by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Make sure all our numbers are lined up, and we're going to add. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 times 8 is 14, carry the 1. 4 plus 0 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 3 is 7. And 2 plus 0 is 2. You can add a comma if you want to for to denote the thousands place, but you don't have to. All right, so let's talk about multiplying decimals. Vic number 1. To multiply decimals, you must line up the numbers to the right, just like we did with whole numbers. So in the previous problems, we lined up our numbers to the right. In multiplying decimals, we'll do the exact same thing. This is different than adding and subtracting decimals. So it's a different rule here. So we're going to line up our numbers to the right. Once we do that, we're going to multiply our numbers just like we would with whole numbers, ignoring the decimal for now. So what I did is I went ahead and multiplied it out for you. 8 times 3 is 24. I wrote down the 4, I carried the 2. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 2, 18, carried the 1. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Added a 0 for a placeholder. 4 times 3 is 12. I wrote the 2 and carried the 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, 9. 4 times 1 is 4. Then we add straight down. And once I added straight down, this is what I got. In this part of our problem, we are now going to place the decimal in our product by counting the number of decimal places in both numbers that we started with. So if you guys notice, I've got 1 decimal place here, 1 decimal place here. So in my answer, I'm going to move 2 decimal places. So I have my answer as 59.04. So that's kind of the catch here when we multiply decimals. We move the number of decimals that we have in our problem, we move that many in our answer. So we've got some example problems, and I'll do this with you guys right now. 1.67 times 0.03. So 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20, carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. And then I could do my placeholder, and then I could multiply my zeros. But as you see, that doesn't really change my problem at all, so I don't need that. So once I've done this digit, since the other digit's 0, I don't need to worry about it. The last thing I need to do is count my decimal places. So look here, I've got 2 decimal places in the top number, 2 in the bottom number. I'm going to move my answer a total of 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now since I didn't have a 4th number, I have to add a 0. My final answer is 0.0501. And then I need to add a 0 to the front to kind of show that my decimal is there. Here's the next problem. 7 times 6 is 42. Oops, Don't want to do that. 7 times 6 is 42. I write on my 1s and carry my 10s. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 4 is 18. And then 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1, 29. Don't get in the habit of bringing down your decimal. That's an addition and subtraction thing. Remember, when we're multiplying, we're counting the decimal places and moving. So our final answer is 29.82. And our third example is a word problem. Jen's favorite peaches are $2.50 per pound at the local farmer's market. She bought 3.5 pounds of peaches. How much did she spend? So we are going to multiply $2.50 by 3.5 pounds. I'm actually going to ignore that 0 since it comes at the end of the problem. It's really not going to help me out in my multiplication process. So now I'm just going to multiply these out. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1, 7. And I'm going to put my result over here. 5 plus 0 is 5, 2 plus 5 is 7, 1 plus 7 is 8. And then I just double check. I've got 2 numbers behind the decimal, so I'm going to move the decimal over 2 places. She's spending a total of $8.75 for her peaches. Go ahead and try these 3 problems for homework. We'll talk about them in class tomorrow.